Hi, I'm Ashley from the Loopy Lamb, and thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. For today's tutorial, I want to show you how to do the double crochet stitch. The double crochet stitch is a beginner's crochet stitch, and for today's tutorial, you're going to need a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook and worsted weight yarn of your preference. In written patterns, the double crochet stitch will be abbreviated as DC. So let's grab our hook, grab our yarn, and let's get started. Okay, so for today's tutorial, we'll be using this Burnout Premium yarn in the color Sky Blue. This is a size 4 medium weight yarn, and we'll be using that for today's tutorial. And you'll also be needing a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. So to start our stitch, we'll be starting by creating a slip knot. And to do that, we'll take our yarn and we'll wrap it around our fingers like this. Okay, all the way around. So we've got these two loops here. Take our hook, go under the first loop, over the second, and pull it through. And then when you get to the end, just pull it off your fingers and transfer it to the crochet hook. Then we'll tighten our yarn to the hook, and we're ready to start. So for today's tutorial, we'll be chaining 14, and we'll start that by yarning over the hook and pulling through the stitch. Yarn over and pull through the stitch. Yarn over and pull through the stitch. That's 4 chains completed. Then we'll go 5, yarn over, pull through 6, yarn over, pull through 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And there's our 14 chains there. And we're going to be working into the 4th chain from the hook. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and again the 2, 3, and 4. And I'm just going to pinch that 4th chain there so I remember where it is. There it is. And we're going to start our stitch by going yarn over hook and inserting into the middle of the chain here, into the V. Okay, and then we're through the hook and we should have 3 loops on our hook here, see? And we'll yarn over hook like this and pull it through the chain. Okay, and now we have 3 loops here on our hook. And so we're going to yarn over hook and pull it through the first 2 loops on our hook. Okay, and now we have 2 loops remaining. So we will yarn over hook again, and we're going to pull that through the last 2 chains here. 1 and 2. Okay, and so we technically have 2 stitches here. We've created 1, and the first 3 chains that we skipped are the first stitch. So we're working it now into this next chain by yarning over and inserting into that V of the chain. We have 3 loops on our chain here, our hook, sorry. We're going to yarn over and pull through the chain. We have 1, 2, 3 loops on our hook. And we're going to yarn over hook and pull this through the first 2 loops on our hook. And then we'll be left with 2 loops on our hook again. And we will yarn over hook and pull that through the remaining 2 loops on our hook. We now have 3 double crochet stitches. So now we're working into this next chain, and we'll yarn over hook. Again, going through the center of the V of the chain. Okay, we've got 3 loops on our hook here, and yarn over hook, and pull it through the stitch, or the chain. We've got 3 loops on our hook, and we'll yarn over hook, and pull it through those first 2 loops again. 1 and 2, and then we've got the remaining 2 loops on our hook. Yarning over again and pulling through the remaining 2 loops. And we're going to continue this across the remaining chains by yarning over hook, inserting into the next chain. We've got 3 loops on our hook, yarn over hook, pull through the stitch, 3 loops on our hook again, yarn over, and pulling through the first 2 loops on our hook, and yarning over again and pulling through the remaining 2 loops. And we're just going to do that again. Yarn over into the stitch, yarn over through the chain, 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pulling through the first 2 loops on our hook, 2 remaining, yarn over and pulling through the last 2. Again, yarn over into the chain here, like this. There we go. Yarn over and pull through the stitch, yarn over through the first 2 loops, and yarn over through the remaining 2 loops. Again, yarn over into the stitch, yarn over, pull through the chain, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, and yarn over, pulling through the remaining 2 loops. And we're going to keep doing this until the end of our chain. Okay, and working into the last chain here, yarn over into the chain, yarn over and pull through the chain, yarn over through the first 2 loops, and yarn over through the remaining 2 loops. Now to do our next row, we're going to turn our work like this, and we're going to do a chain 3. So yarn over hook, through the chain, yarn over hook, through the chain, and again, yarn over hook and through the chain. And that's our chain 3. Now this counts as our first stitch, so we're going to skip this first top of the stitch here, and we're going to be working into the second one here. And you see these 2 strands that kind of make the V. We're going to be working under both of those. So again, yarn over hook and under both V's, if you can see that a little better there, of the stitch in the row before. We've got the 2 extra loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through the stitch. We have 3 loops on our hook now. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on our hook. 2 loops are remaining. Yarn over hook and pull through the stitch. Okay, we've got our 2 double crochet stitches there. So yarn over hook, again working under the V, under both strands of the V in the stitch, yarn over and pull through your stitch. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. 2 loops are remaining, yarn over and pull through the remaining 2 loops. And we're going to just keep doing that across until the end of the row. Okay, so we'll yarn over into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2, and yarn over through 2. Okay, so when we get to the end of our chain here, you'll see that we have the 1 V here, that's our last stitch, and then we've got our 3 skipped chains from the beginning that count as a stitch, and we're going to have to work into that stitch because it doesn't have a standard V like a normal stitch. So we are going to have to crochet into the top of that chain for this to be evened out. So we're yarning over into the stitch, yarn over, pulling through the first 2 loops and repeating that again. And now we're going to work into this chain, the top of the chain. So you can kind of see it looks like a V here. And we're going to yarn over hook, and it might be a little tight, but we're going to put the hook into that tiny little V. Okay, there we go. And yarning over through the stitch, 3 loops on our hook again, yarn over through the first 2 loops, and yarn over through the remaining 2 loops. And you can see how that's nice and even. We've got the same number of stitches on each row. Just double checking here. Yep, we should have 12 stitches there. And to do our next row, we will turn our work again. And this is the right side of our work. And we're going to chain 3. Yarn over through the stitch 1, yarn over through the stitch 2, and yarn over through the stitch, or chain, sorry, 3. That's our turning chain. It again counts as your first stitch. And again, here's the V's at the top of the stitch from the row before. And we're going to skip the first and work into the second. Yarn over into the stitch, yarn over through the stitch. And we have the 3 loops again. Yarn over through the first 2 loops and yarn over through the remaining 2 loops. And just like we did in our last row, we're going to continue to work into the tops of each stitch across. And when we get to the end of our row, we will have to work into the top of that chain 3 turning chain to ensure that we have the right amount of stitches. So we'll just keep going across, yarn over into the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2 again. Okay, so we're at the end of our row again now, and you can see that that turning chain there doesn't quite give you a nice square piece. So again, we have to work into the top of that chain, and we're going to do that again by yarning over and going into the top of the chain 3 there. Okay, and then we're going to yarn over again, pull through the stitch. We'll have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through the remaining 2 loops. And now you can see that by crocheting into the top of that chain there, we have a more square piece.
Thanks for watching this tutorial. I hope you found it helpful and that you feel confident with your new skill. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comments section below. If you like free crochet patterns, please visit my website, theloopylamb.com. If you like this video, please hit that like button and please subscribe to this channel. Thanks so much for watching, happy hooking, and I'll see you next time.